Temple of the Dog. Rock on. I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence, but I can't feed all the powerless when my cup's already overfilled. Yeah, yeah. But it's on the table, the fire is cooking, and they're farming babies, the slaves are working. Blood is on the table, the mouths are choking. I'm going hungry, yeah. I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence. Oh. I can't feed all the powerless when my cup's already overfilled. Oh. But it's on the table, the fire is cooking, and they're farming babies, the slaves are working. And it's on the table, the mouths are choking. I'm going hungry, yeah. I'm going hungry, I'm going hungry, I'm going hungry. I'm going hungry, yeah. I'm going hungry, yeah. I don't mind stealing bread. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe.
Okay, shut up, Jorrun. Hello, everyone. His music gives me a bad stomach. What? A bad stomach? Anyway, hello, Branch. Today, we're going to be at least looking at the, his interview with Many Syllables, and we'll probably be looking at call number 5 as well. I thought that was fitting, considering the thumbnail I went with. I don't know if anyone will get it, but I thought it was funny. Anyway.
Hey everyone.
Oh, let me know if you guys can hear me okay.
This video is an interview I had with a YouTuber that was recently exposed engaging in predatory behavior towards women and children that goes by the name of Jorrun Comedy. I'm going to give a very brief summary of the situation to the best of my understanding. Sometime just prior to the 4th of July weekend, comments from a user named Mac and Cheese began appearing on TCAP community members' videos and live streams. The comments appeared to be a warning that someone in the community was engaging in inappropriate...
Oh, and I should say that I'm not streaming this to make fun of mini Syllables, obviously. I think she did really good in the interview. Jorrun says she did like an 8 out of 10, but I actually do think she did really good. But I haven't seen anyone stream this, and it's just Jorrun's fucking answers to it. So now, I mean, yeah, no one's really streamed this before.
...and predatory behavior towards women. People in the community began talking. No one had been specifically named in these warning comments, but there seemed to be a general consensus among community members that the comments must have been referring to Jorrun. On July 4th, Mac and Cheese released a video that confirmed everyone's suspicions. The video contained screenshots from a conversation that took place between a catfish and Jorrun.
Okay, good, Wes. I mean, I didn't think so. I was just making sure.
Along with various social media interactions of his. The video was reported and removed so quickly that many people didn't even have a chance to see it in its entirety. Jorrun adamantly denied any wrongdoing and claimed that this was all just the work of a troll that catfished him, who was now exposing private sexual conversations he had with another consenting adult. It wasn't long before a Google Drive link began circulating that contains all of the screenshots that were in the video, along with other evidence that contradicted Jorrun's claim of no wrongdoing. It turns out that Mac and Cheese wasn't a troll. They were a whistle.
Oh, something funny that I didn't even realize during my stream is that I'm being honest, or I'm being honest, streamed the pre-apology call before my stream, so it was like, and then I streamed all the calls, so I don't know, that was kind of weird yesterday. I didn't even know that. There was just like a weird coincidence.
Whistleblower. Several people came forward and shared uncomfortable experiences and unwanted advances from Jorrun. There is also evidence that he has an extreme fetish for genies and harem girls. And while under normal circumstances his personal fetishes would not be an issue or even anyone's business, this particular fetish revealed some glaring red flags. Jorrun had previously enlisted a female community member to play a role as a genie in what he called a comedic sketch. As it turned out, the role was extremely sexual in nature, and he had conned her into unwittingly role-playing a sexual fantasy for him. This wasn't an isolated incident. Other women in the community were used and objectified in similar ways. Screenshots show several instances of him objectifying and sexually harassing various women online in genie-themed costumes. And to everyone's horror, he had also liked photos of young children in revealing clothing and positions from genie-themed dance recitals and performances. After a lot of resistance, when confronted with his evidence, Jorrun admitted that everything that was exposed is true. The community's reaction was understandably shock, anger, and disgust.
Thank you, Eddie. I was hoping someone would get it. Yo-Yo Jorrun apology. First name Jorrun, second name apology.
This man had infiltrated a community that is predicated on exposing and criticizing sexual predators and people who victimize children. And yet here he was engaging in that exact same behavior while exploiting its members. On July 6th, Jorrun released an apology video and agreed to do an interview with me to address some of the questions that the community had. Initially, he wanted to be able to review the questions ahead of time and do a dry run rehearsal. I didn't feel that this was appropriate, and in the interest of integrity and authenticity, we agreed to record...
Yeah, whatever happened to Minnie, by the way? Is she okay?
...the interview without any rehearsals or previews of the questions. The following interview is intended to give the community some answers, and is in no way intended to defend or advocate for Jorrun or his behavior.
I'm going to dive right in and start asking these questions. I just want you to answer them as openly and honestly as possible.
Okay.
All right. It's been exposed.
I hit the like button on streams with little channels, YouTubers who stream the type of content that make me laugh. Nothing fucking on earth is better than that. Fight me.
That you've liked pictures of young children dressed up and dancing as genies. And it's also been exposed that you have a kink or fetish for genies. Do you think that that behavior is acceptable?
Not at all. Indefensible.
Did you think it was acceptable when you were doing it?
the lie I told myself was, I'm putting a like on the picture of a little girl. I'm quote unquote supporting her.
Did you like pictures of girls other than genies, or was it usually just genie content that maybe you came across?
You're referring to children?
Yes.
No, there were none others.
Okay. Have you ever interacted with anyone underage online, whether they initiated contact or you felt it was innocent or not?
High school girls, yes.
Do you care to discuss any of that, or can you give some insight on that? Was it...
Oh, the exhaling of the nose. Or the snorting cocaine, whichever one you... If you're pro, Jorrun does coke.
Did you feel that, or can you give some insight on that? Was it... Did you feel it was innocent? Was it a you know, were you being flirtatious, or how would you describe it?
Let me think. I've been doing this so long that I want to make sure that I can, I've definitely commented on videos. I've definitely commented on pictures in a flirtatious way.
Well, not to spoil things, but Jorrun actually disagrees with you, Heisenberg. Jorrun thinks that Minnie did it like an 8 out of 10, but he did like a 10 out of 10. Or a 9 out of 10, whichever one he said that he did.
As far as going any farther than that, I have not. But to me, that's bad enough, and I very much don't want to, you know, take the first step on a path that leads to something really bad. And
Sure.
I think my foot is already on that path by me even doing that.
Of course, of course. So are you saying have there ever been any private conversations with these high school age girls, or has there ever been back and forth in those comments, or has it mostly been you making a singular comment and not getting a response?
It's mostly been singular comments.
Has there ever been any kind of, private conversation with someone who was underage?
In my 20s, yes.
Was that a frequent thing? Did you feel it was wrong at the time, or was it more so, I feel like we're close in age and maturity level, or do you want to elaborate on that at all?
I definitely felt like we were close maturity-wise.
Okay.
See, like, he just takes one of her answers versus, like, the truth.
Are you sexually attracted to, or have you ever been sexually aroused by...
And in fact, he didn't even explain it. He just took one of her answers.
Children?
No.
Not even when they're in, the genie costume. And I'm asking that just because, that is a very specific, a lot of times with kinks and fetishes, it's more so around the object than it is the person. And so if you were viewing children...
Yeah, or in the call number 4.
who were dressed up in these genie outfits, it would be reasonable for someone to assume that you would be sexually aroused by that. So are you saying you were never sexually...
That's true, Scarlett. He sounds happy later on.
Aroused by any of the pictures of the children?
On the good questions, he sounds happy. Jorrun fucking loved this attention.
Correct.
Okay. Why did you like those pictures? I know you said it was the lie you told yourself was that you were supporting them.
Yeah.
Do you think that it was anything beyond that? Do you think that it is your genie fetish so overwhelming that you're...
So whenever I do this stream, do you guys think I should sit or stand?
Drawn to that, even whether it's a child or not?
Gotcha. I would be scrolling through Instagram, searching specifically for that.
If anyone even gets that reference.
And when it was women, I would absolutely say something inappropriate. And never with children.
Did you ever feel anything inappropriate with the children, whether you acted on it or said anything or not?
No.
Bullshit.
Have you ever fantasized about anything involving children or viewed any type of child pornography, even if it's not young children, even if it's, older teenagers?
No.
If you had to guess, how many photos of underage girls do you think that you've liked or commented on, inappropriately or otherwise?
As far
That's not an answer. That's just breathing air.
as liking, that was actually pretty rare.
Okay. Have you ever saved photos of underage girls at
No.
all? And even not just underage girls, have you ever saved photos of people?
Scarlett says, my favorite part is the latter in the interview where Minnie asks, do you think you're qualified to critique other people's comedy?
Who didn't know that you were saving their photos?
Yes.
Have you
He's like a colorblind Carmelian. What do you mean, Eddie?
deleted all of those at this point?
Everything is gone.
Completely from your hard drive? No, there's no record of it whatsoever. You can't access it anymore.
Nothing whatsoever on my hard drive.
Wait, so you seen the videos and then he... Huh?
When you saved those pictures of people without their knowledge,
I didn't save it as a private to them. Oh my gosh. Scarlett, this is why you're my favorite commenter.
did you feel like you were violating them in any way?
I didn't. At the time, I absolutely did not.
Do you feel now that you were?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you believe that you respect women?
Not enough. Not enough. I've had this dichotomy in my head where I'm a good person because I have female friends.
Oh, I know, Wes, if you're saying that he had a playlist of, like, high school girls dressed as genies on his channel, I know that, but I'm not sure why you mentioned that.
Because I'm good to them, but it's been a very split in my mentality where I'd be like, it's okay for me.
The videos in this playlist are on YouTube, all genie stuff. I pull up some of the videos in there. Yeah, I know.
You do quote
Yeah, because you said they were like high school cheerleaders and mascots and shit.
unquote flirt, which wasn't flirting at all. It was sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm. But would you say, do you feel respect for women? I understand that your actions certainly contradict that,
Mm-hmm.
but do you feel that you respect women in general? Like,
How people didn't pick up on that? Well, I guess nobody really paid attention then, though.
do you feel that you
Yes.
have feelings of
I had never seen the dump before this week. Really? The tiny pee-pee dump?
respect towards women?
Yes,
Because-
absolutely.
And I'll just point this out because I'm sure someone else may hear this. When I
Mhm.
asked you about if you respect women, you said, well, I feel like I kind of lied to myself
I mean, I wish I hadn't seen it, but I did.
that I did because of, and you're talking about you. You're not talking about how you feel about women.
Gotcha.
So do you feel that you respect women in general?
I definitely believe that they're equal. I've expressed in the past admiration for certain people in the community, and quite a bit in my real life. Genuine admiration.
Sure. Do you think that all women, do you view them solely as sex objects?
No.
What a fucking male ally.
Okay. Have you ever had conversations with women that weren't sexually charged, or is there always some level of flirtation there?
I have definitely had conversations with women that were not sexually charged.
His mom.
Would you say those are frequent or few and far between?
In general, and again, this is me explaining and not excusing my
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
mentality. In general, and again,
Frequent or few and
the women that were not sexually charged.
would you say those are frequent or few and far between?
In general, and
Okay, that's not something that you have to think about. That's a yes or a no.
again, this is me explaining and not excusing my mentality.
Hey, Father Tron.
But in my mind, oh, she's married. I don't do
It's a sad penis. It really is, Eddie.
that. Oh, she's in a serious relationship. Oh, I don't do that.
Have you ever been called out or confronted for inappropriate behavior with women before?
In person, no. Online, I've definitely had women call me out for comments I've made about them.
Sure. Do you want to elaborate on any of that?
I've
Do you want to give an example? Or
I've had times on Instagram where I've said something sexually suggestive, and a woman is just like, "Don't treat me like a piece of meat," or called me a name that I deserved, and in general.
Oh, well, that makes sense, Wes. I mean, I guess as long as you know what's in there, as long as you know, like, the relevant stuff, you really don't need to look too deep into it.
Express repulsion by my words and actions.
Sure. Has it ever?
I wouldn't recommend anyone looking into it, looking into the dump. I mean, you can if you want to, but, like, for, like, research purposes, but, like, I would give, like, a high content warning. Like, there's nothing, let's say, family friendly, like YouTube used to say.
Gone beyond that, or mostly just direct responses to something you've said, and it doesn't go any further than that?
Correct. Yeah, just direct responses.
Okay. Have you had successful relationships and friendships with women in the past?
Yes, many times.
Do you find that communication is sometimes an issue with you and women?
No.
Have you ever had the police involved because of your behavior with women, or any issues at work?
No.
Okay. How did you find out about the TCAP community?
I was, do you want a long answer or a short answer on that one?
What the fuck?
Whatever is the truth.
Okay.
Do you want a long answer or short answer?
I originally found a channel called Down the Rabbit Hole, which got me into Chris Chan. And from there, I started researching Chris Chan. I found Bay Shaman. I had never watched the original To Catch a Predator. I didn't have a TV at the time. I had heard about the show. I saw Bay
We want a tiny and cute answer, Jorrun.
Shaman's videos about him, parody videos, The Mask, what have you. And I was curious. I listened to a little bit of the holy pornography, lost interest, and then many months later, I found a channel called Danknet that did a great.
This is not even close to, like, the story that he told, like, in his stream. He told us a story in his stream, and then he told another story in Kennedy's stream. I think with Kennedy, he mentioned Mr. Gigi, or Mr. Gigi as he calls him, and yeah.
Comprehensive history of the Church of God. And then after that, I resubscribed to Bay Shaman. And through Danknet and other things he discussed, the TCAP-opocalypse, I became very interested, listened to the entire holy pornography.
Someone should, like, count all the snorts that he does in this, and, like, or just, like, clip out all the snorts. It would be like a 5-minute video.
And from then I was hooked.
Do you think that some of the sexual content in the community, even though a lot of it's repulsive, do you think that attracted you to it
Hey, Clobber, how you doing? Yeah, no, me too.
at all?
Say again, please.
Do you think that some of the sexual content, the nature of the
I actually didn't know you were streaming. I was planning on streaming, so I just waited basically until you ended.
community, a lot of the content making fun of Lorne, and otherwise there's a lot of, sexual content. Did that appeal to you at all?
No.
Why did you join the TCAP community? What appealed to you about it then?
I really like the idea that I could express myself comedically. Lorne, I hope this doesn't sound insensitive, but Lorne is the gift that keeps on
As if this would matter if anything sounds insensitive now.
giving for a content creator, because one of my first thoughts with Lorne is, what is wrong with this guy? And the fact that it was just infinite material comedically, because there are so many things to make fun of him about.
They barely did. Or in the Kennedy stream. What a winker. Yeah, I agree.
about.
Uh-huh.
And obviously him being so quotable. So for me, it was very much the feelings I had with Chris Chan, which is it's a quote-unquote locale.
Okay.
And TCAP has always fascinated me because
I would like give like a Jason Blaha fact just as a joke now, but I actually have no clue who Jason Blaha is. I never did figure it out.
we just look at these guys and go, what's wrong with them? Why do they not have some sort of interior regulatory thing where they go, what I'm doing is disgusting. I'm going after 12, 13, 14, whatever age girls.
Yeah, that's right, Clobber. He didn't know anything about Chris Chan or Lauren. He didn't know shit about anything. He doesn't know shit about comedy, music, all of his supposed interest, BDSM. He doesn't know anything about it.
It's always been the psychological part that's fascinated me with is like and yes, some of them are obviously hilarious in their ineptitude, the way they dress, whatever. There's absolutely that. But there's been a lot of what's wrong with these guys, and that's just drawn me.
Sure. Do you recognize that a lot of your behavior has been extremely similar to Lorne and these people?
Yes.
No, because he didn't fucking watch it.
Yes. I have. Pardon me.
No, go ahead, please.
In the past couple days, when I really looked at the Google Drive and the contents, and I saw.
Can this dude not say Google right?
Every past couple days, when I really looked at the Google Drive and.
Oh my god, no. Shut up.
The contents, and I saw everything I.
No, you guys, my tablet thought I said, "Hey Google."
I'd done over the years, and such a wide variety. My first thought is, oh my god.
What is wrong with this Lorne guy? He's not into genies.
God, this is way too Lorne-like. And what's helped me in general as a person, as I think it helps everyone, is being able to look at someone who is the best example of what not to be in a human being. And I don't want to even be slightly like him. And I was a lot more like him than I ever wanted to be.
Sure. There were a lot of parallels there. And do you think that maybe your hatred of Lorne...
Shit, even in appearance. I mean, not that you should really make fun of anyone's appearance, but I mean, look at Jorrun in that fucking thumbnail. But he's got the blue eyes, the bald head, and then he's got, a lot of times he even wore a blue shirt. I mean,
Lorne might actually be, because...
And now he wears a hat and blue jean shorts. He wears the Lorne outfit, like, a lot now.
There are things that he reminds you of yourself, things that you don't like about yourself?
Other than the Red Sox hat being some other sort of hat, I'm pretty sure he wore Lorne's exact outfit.
I would say no. As I said before, and I'll say again, I was very much excusing my behavior, thinking it wasn't a problem, making bullshit excuses for my behavior.
Sure.
Complete bullshit.
Did you view the TCAP community as an appropriate place to target women for your own sexual gratification or flirtation?
I have always been a flirtatious person, and I absolutely started right away flirting with members of the community.
Sure. Did you feel that was appropriate?
Again, going back to my mentality is if they flirt back, it's okay. Now I say, wait a minute, if someone's not flirting back, they could be anything from angry, humiliated, worst of all...
That's the same thing, Jorrun.
Expecting some sort of retaliation from me. And I'm like, oh shit, this is not right at all. My thinking is fucked.
So would you say then, when you did it at the time, you felt it, you didn't think it was inappropriate?
I have to upload some videos to Steer Music. He didn't have it at this point, but yeah.
But now you do?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe your thought process when you took advantage of by having her unwittingly fulfill a kink fantasy roleplay for you?
Okay. So, I had
Okay, so the names are censored in here. That makes sense. I haven't ever listened to the Alpha Male Derek or the re-upload of this.
written a sketch that she enjoyed, and she said, "All right, I'll do that." I very much made the character sexy, and I said, "Well, you know, it's gonna go good comedically because if I can just, is it okay if I bring up some of the thought process about writing, or do you think it would be?"
Sure.
Okay.
No, you bring up whatever you. I mean, it's important that you're honest here. So if that's part of your truth, then tell it.
Thank you very much. So when I
Oh, he had a little Elvis going on there.
was writing, I'm like, okay, I had seen, obviously I've watched so much GD media over my entire life. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, Jorrun, this is the fucking time to make jokes.
if she's one of these more modern ones where she acts like, what do you want, blah, 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 it's not going to have an effect on the audience. But I wrote her that way to make people watching it have a twinge of jealousy. Because if people are emotionally involved in anything, especially comedy, they get more involved. So I'm like, she has to be written too good to be true. And so I wrote her as too good to be true, comedically. Did I make her sound ideal? And ideal to me? Yes. Absolutely. Did I make her say things that were very sexy to me? Absolutely, yes. And she had no idea that what she was recording was stuff that I found arousing. She had no idea at any time.
Right. Are you saying that it wasn't your intention for her to be arousing to you, that it just sort of happened, that when you gave her these roles to choose from, we spoke previously, and I believe you said
Father Tron giving the blah effects.
You gave her 3 potential
Correct.
roles to choose from.
Yes.
And so are you saying that it was not your intention at the time to have her do something that would give you some sexual gratification?
I'm a little confused. Are you saying that I didn't write the role specifically for her?
No, what I'm asking is, when I asked that question, you explained that, it was really more so about, the community would find it funny and you were trying to appeal to an audience. So it sort of sounded like you were saying that it was just coincidence that you had her fulfill this genie role. So when you asked her to do this, did you intend to get sexual gratification from it?
I knew that certain things that were going to be said by a woman was going to be a turn on for me.
Sure. And had you, prior to asking her to do this, had you expressed to anyone, that you found her voice very sexy?
No.
You had not expressed that to anyone?
Correct.
Have you expressed that since she did the genie role?
Well, this is the first real uncomfortable question. I've never found voice as attractive as other members of the community have.
So if there was a screenshot of you telling someone that you
Wes, didn't you call his bullshit on that? That he didn't find her voice attractive?
found her voice extremely sexy, would you be surprised by that?
Yes.
Because I'll be honest with you, I've seen it.
Okay.
I'm not trying to blindside you with anything, but I've seen you telling someone that you find her voice very sexy.
Thank you. I definitely find what she said to be very sexy.
Her voice her voice is only an 8 out of 10.
Sure. I believe that this screenshot actually took place prior to her fulfilling the genie role. And again, I'm not trying to pin you in a corner here, but
No,
I want us
that's
to maintain honesty and integrity
Thank you.
here.
I appreciate that.
That prior to you asking her to fulfill this genie role, you had expressed to someone that you found her voice very sexy. So that being said, do you think that it may have been more targeted for your sexual gratification than even you're willing to realize yourself at this point?
Yes.
Do you understand and accept that when you did that to her, you denied her the ability to consent to what it essentially amounted to a sexual act for you.
Absolutely.
Did you realize that at the time?
No. Telling myself lies again.
Sure. When she did this for you and it clearly provided you with some sexual gratification, did you feel it was wrong at all at the time, or did you just feel like, oh, this is no big deal, as long as she doesn't know, no one's going to get hurt?
I was just thinking of the reception of the video, people
I know, he was pissed. Scarlett.
enjoying it, me getting more likes, comments, what have you.
Sure. But the sexual part, because I mean, I think we've pretty much established that you did get sexual gratification from the sex you did, right?
Yes.
So as you got that sexual gratification, was there ever a point where you felt, hey, I'm wrong for doing this, or this is kind of skeevy of me? Or were you just like, what people don't know doesn't hurt them?
At some point after I did it and it was uploaded, I absolutely did feel that what I did was wrong.
Sure.
Because she's been nothing but a kind
Can you stop calling me out or my BS Minnie, and can we get back to talking about the artistic process?
friend to me, and I was using her.
Absolutely. Moving on from, there's a video that you had put out, and it was a non-sexual video, and in that video you made a comment where you timestamp a point where you felt that her breasts were bouncing. What was the purpose of objectifying her body on that video? Like, what did you hope to achieve by that comment?
Nothing positive at all. Nothing positive. It was extremely creepy.
Jason Blaha filmed the Jim Roush. Oh my gosh. Jim Roush interrogation. Okay, that's who Jason Blaha is.
Extremely objectifying. And absolutely no... excuse me. There's the tongue tightness. Absolutely no way to treat anyone, especially someone who I've considered a friend.
Sure, absolutely. But what was your intention when you typed that out? What was the purpose? What did you think would come of it? Why?
It was a quote unquote joke.
Oh, the comment that he made on her video? Yeah, I know.
Meaning I'm not going to defend it in any way. It was wrong.
Sure, of course. Like,
or unless you're not talking to me, Eddie.
Like, it's completely established that that's wrong. I don't think anyone could deny that. But I think what I'm trying to get at...
Well, it really wouldn't matter if it was in the dump or not. I mean, he says it in his apology video.
More is, what was your thought? Like, why? What did you get out of saying that? Because it's one thing...
Yes.
To watch it and feel that, right?
Yeah.
What compelled you to A, tell people you were thinking that, and B, draw other people's attention to that specific moment of the video? What do you think? Did you feel that maybe if other people joined in, you would feel a little bit less creepy? And I don't know if that's a thought process at all. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, what do you think the purpose of drawing other people's attention to it and drawing attention to it at all was? Are you excited by, telling someone that you're checking them out? Or again, are you trying to bring other people in to make you feel better about it so you don't feel like you're, this lone creeper? Or what do you think your thought process there was?
That's an excellent question that I haven't thought about at all. It wasn't to get other people's attention.
He was just marking it so he could go back to it. I guarantee it.
I think wow. Okay, I'm starting to actually shiver at this point in the interview. That's a good thing. That's my conscience. I think I was quote unquote being flirty, which makes me shudder at the very thought that I thought that was flirty.
That's what we need. We need a blanket that says, I'm starting to shiver. That's my conscience. If Morn's in here, there's another merch idea.
Oh, she probably likes the attention.
Okay.
Ugh.
Were you kind of hoping that maybe that would start up a little bit of a flirtatious rapport between the two of you?
The snorts almost sound intentional, like he needs to get them out of the way, but I don't think it is.
Yes.
Shivering equals Coke withdrawals. Nachos.
Yes.
Okay. So that was almost sort of like a testing the waters pickup line.
Yes,
then,
absolutely.
In a way. Okay. Have you ever shared pictures of community members that were sent to you?
You know what it was? You know why he says nachos all the time? his mom was eating nachos whenever she dropped him on the head as a baby.
With anyone?
That's fucked up.
No. That yeah, definitely, because anonymity has been so important to me.
Sure. Did you share pictures of the catfish with other people before you found out she was a catfish?
Yes.
So at that time, you thought that you were sharing private pictures of a community member because you didn't realize she was a catfish at that point, right?
Correct.
So, you know, not to call you out here, but so when you say you'd never shared photos of community members, that, I mean, sure, you can play a semantics game and say,
That is true. I definitely would choose nachos over Jorrun.
well, she turned out to be a catfish. But when you were under the impression that she was just a community member who had shared private photos of herself with you, you had shared those private photos, correct?
I had shared them. I think the reason why I just answered is because in my mind, I'm not thinking of her as a community member because she was so new or something, which is not really a good excuse, but I thought of her as just the catfish.
So do you think that women in the community are somehow entitled to more respect than women who are new to the community?
No.
So why did you share those photos of her?
Bragging.
Just trying to beef up your bravado and look cool.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason
If you haven't seen the which I'm sure you guys have, but if you haven't seen the AMD reading of the West chat log, that's where he shares the photos, and yeah, he is just, yeah.
sort of asked that is because, you know, it's not quiet that this community is supposed to kind of be a safe place. There's a lot of people who come to our community who have been victims of sexual trauma, or just in general. You know, a lot of women feel comfortable talking openly here. That's kind of the nature of the community, and the safe space is created, not just for women, for men too, for everyone. Do you realize that you've ruined that for some?
You don't understand, Kelville. I was in a contest with Wes. Yeah. I would choose testicular surgery without anesthesia over Jorrun. Father Tron, well, what if that was done by Jorrun? What if Jorrun was the surgeon?
Some people, and all just because you wanted some sexual gratification.
Yes.
What do you feel about that?
My mentality, why it was okay, which it absolutely is
Yeah, this mac and cheese bitch is horny.
not. My mentality is she started the conversation by immediately sending me a nude. No, that's not correct. That's not correct. The nudes came later. She sent me a picture. I'll share it with someone else, bragging, saying, hey, look, so-and-so, I have a groupie now, blah, blah.
He said the conversation did start with the nude. I don't know why he said that wasn't correct.
Blah, blah.
I see.
Unless I'm remembering incorrectly.
But in general, not just with the catfish, do you realize that a lot of your behavior has stripped away some of the security of the safe place for a lot of people?
Yes.
How does that make you feel now?
Terrible.
She asked how he feels, and he diverts to his mentality because Jorrun doesn't feel. He's dead inside. Jorrun's emotions are as lifeless as the non-existent pizza.
I was going to say let them down, but actually betrayal is a better word.
Sure.
Betrayed the trust.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you feel terrible now. When did you shift from feeling like this is fine and to feeling terrible?
I would say the most
Okay, within the first 5 messages. Okay, so it was early on.
accurate moment to pinpoint was just as a little background. So I originally thought this was just the troll. Oh, it's the troll is now gone from being in my live stream to this, which was absolutely wrong. That's at least 2 different people. Okay.
Because
It was tagging women. I think that's Clobber's game, bagging women. You know, paper bagging. That was a terrible joke. Jorrun feels terrible because the TCAP community is no longer a safe place for him. Yeah.
I say that because, you know, this has been probably your whole life of you acting this way, right? And even after you were kind of confronted, you still sort of stuck to this, and you even, you know, had people help defend you. So that I'm sort of leading into that and asking, you know, when the shift, because, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to say, well, yeah, it's real easy after you're confronted and caught to say that you feel terrible about it. Why did it, you know?
The best thing I can tell you, my aha moment was
his yaha moment.
When the best thing I can tell you, my aha moment was when the contents of the drive were shared with me, and I got to see everything and how many things there were over a number of years. It was just kind of like, as I said in the apology, you know, all the walls I put in my head came down. I saw all my excuses and what I was doing to people, how I was treating them, and the enormity of it all hit me like a tidal wave. I'm like, oh shit, I'm bad.
Yeah.
I've been a complete asshole.
Yeah.
There was no running from that.
No, there definitely wasn't. But, you know, when this first came out, and I hope you don't mind me referencing our...
Buy 3 1 tires, bag 3, get 1 woman.
Our conversation, just again for the sake of integrity. When this first came out, I had initially asked you about it, and you claimed that like it was nothing. You had done absolutely nothing wrong. You're laughing at it because it's just a troll that was jealous of your popularity and how women flirt with you.
Yes.
I understand that you say that's what you sort of believed at the time. However, you know, when I was speaking to you, I was doing so from a very non-judgmental standpoint, and I was very politely saying, but do you think there's any validity to what they're saying about your behavior at all? And you were like, absolutely not. And you were completely trying to discredit them. Why is that?
In my mind, I absolutely thought that this was the same person who had been in my live streams and other people's live streams impersonating me for over a month. And I saw they're just trying a different tactic now. So I firmly believed that it was the same person trying a different tactic.
Sure, that's understandable. But, you know, if Charlie Manson says that I kick puppies, and that's still a true statement, it doesn't change the fact that I kick puppies, right? So I understand that you believed it was someone that was just trolling you and jealous of you. But what I'm asking is if you knew that some of what they were saying about your behavior was true, and there were people asking you, hey, is any of this true? Why were you so adamant about continuing to say, no, it's not true? And not only that, but go as far as to try to completely discredit them.
I was so much more worried about my reputation and avoiding humiliation than I was pursuing truth or trying to do the right thing. I was much more interested in damage control, getting
Holy shit, mini syllables. Back from the dead.
rid of the video, flagging and reporting it. In the beginning stages, that's all I was really concerned with.
Sure. And
that was my motivation.
I'm sure there's some very humiliating stuff there. I can understand wanting to get rid of that. But what about even privately with some of the...
Last time I checked, because I was trying to find this interview one time, Minnie's channel was gone, so I thought it was
people
deleted.
Who, you know, they were advocating for you even, or even myself. I definitely was never advocating for you at any point, but I feel that I was very fair with you.
Yes.
I was not judgmental, and I don't intend to just keep speaking about me. I'm only speaking about this because it's the only, you know, contact that I have direct experience with. You know, with you, I'll be honest with you, you know, I've noticed some problematic behavior with you before this even happened. You've noticed I'm often very, very, you know, playful and talkative.
Hold on.
I've noticed some problematic behavior with you before this even happened. You've noticed I'm often very, very...
That sounded like paper and snorting. I don't know.
You know, playful and talkative with a lot of people, but I had already prior to this kind of shied away from you because I got a little bit of a bad vibe. I hope that doesn't offend you.
You're not the first person to have told me that in the past weekend.
Sure. So when I came to you I'll just be honest with you. My intention was, I had good intentions. I wanted to help you realize that, even if at that time I thought it was possibly a troll too, I didn't read all the content. But I was trying to see if maybe I could use the situation to help you understand that you make people uncomfortable. So I
Wes, maybe it was Coke stepped on with meth or whatever the hell Crystal said.
Brought that up to you, and I'm like, well, do you think maybe you have some repetitive behavior that makes people uncomfortable? Do you think it's an odd coincidence that even before this troll said your name, everyone said, oh, you must be talking about Jorrun? And again, you very much so just shut that down. It's like, no, it's just got to be someone who's jealous. There's absolutely no truth to it. I mean, you clearly knew at the time, even if you didn't realize how bad your behavior was, you knew that there was some validity to what they were saying. Why not, at least privately, to maybe not me, but other people who you're closer to when they're asking you about this, why deny it so adamantly?
I think I was doing the equivalent of covering my ears and going, la, 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 I can't
Jesus Christ, Jorrun. Why so loud?
hear you. I think I was
you about this. Why deny it so adamantly?
I think I was doing the equivalent of covering my...
Oh my god, Jorrun, you sound like Chris Hansen's first YouTube stream.
...ears and going, la, 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 I can't hear you.
Sure.
Very much a denial, not wanting to experience humiliation, loss of respect. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can understand that, and I'm sure other people can too, but why would you allow other people to come to your defense then? Why wouldn't you say, even if you didn't want to fully admit it, why wouldn't you just say, hey, I've got this, let me handle this, don't bring yourself into it?
Jorrun is getting his guitar and recording equipment ready for the cover he's going to record as soon as the interview is over. He may have actually started recording videos back then.
This, because I remember even you telling me something along the lines of, I'm not going to let this troll win because too many people have reached out and they have my back, and I'm not going to let them down. You acted like you had some.
Because I know whenever I started this channel, I already had a few videos before I even, made the channel.
Kind of obligation to them as your fans is, I believe, what you said. So why on earth would you allow innocent people to come to your defense, knowing that at least even if you were not fully accepting at the time that
Jorrun was deep throating his microphone,
your behavior was terrible, you knew some of it was true at the very least. Why would you allow innocent people to jump in and run to your defense? And
he was still uploading to his old singing channel, but I wonder if he was recording. I wonder whenever he started recording for Steer Music
and helped get the videos taken down.
The first day after the whistleblower revealed him or herself, I knew there was a video. I did not watch it. I got 10 seconds. I think on a subconscious level, I'm like this. I was just running and hiding from it. So I was talking to my friends. I'm like, okay, it's the troll.
Bullshit. There was no subconscious level or anything like that. You saw your O-face and then you wanted it taken down.
I'm sure it's the same troll. Cranking up to the next level. Please report. And that was my only thought process. Later on, when I actually started thinking, I was just like, wait a minute. There's things that absolutely don't add up. That means this is a different person.
Sure. I guess where I get a little confused, and I'm sure other people would have that same question too, is again, even if you're in unless you were just in complete denial and you really thought you never had done anything wrong ever, it doesn't. I'm asking, why would you allow people to rush to your defense, knowing that there was at least a shred of validity to what was being said?
I would say it was complete denial. Complete denial. And I didn't.
Did he actually say that, Minnie? That he put you on the map because you interviewed him?
It really was like a switch was flipped when I saw that drive. And I'm like, oh.
Jorrun wrote "All I Want to Do Is Love You" about his Coke dealer after getting 2-for-1 coupon. 2-for-1 coupon on stepped on 8 balls. What?
This is real. What I've done is real. And the excuses I've used are bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I'm like, oh.
You know, in that, when you were allowing people to come to your defense, I'm gonna talk about Danny here, because you know she had your back.
Very much.
Danny G taught me how to stream.
Manipulated her and others who considered you a friend into trying to cover this up.
Yeah.
You know, get the video removed through no fault of their own. Now, some people may view them as someone who is either complacent in or assisting a predator in covering up his behavior. Do you want to clear some of that up and explain that they were in no way involved and that you completely misled them and that they absolutely would not have supported your behavior had they known the truth?
Absolutely. Anyone who may have done that, I'm not sure I can remember specifically, but I believe Danny G, TCAP Recipes, probably wrote his Chew Tootsie, possibly, again, my memory, possibly Roy Me. Anyone who did that, none of them approved of the stuff I was doing. They all thought they were helpful, or even knew about it. Not a one. Not a one. There was no, I have this confidant and they know secretly what I'm, no. All of them acted out of complete ignorance of my behavior. And they all thought they were helping a friend. Yeah.
And just to be clear, that's also because you manipulated them into that too, by speaking to them and saying, yeah, this is all fake and they're, you know, this person's a troll and help, right?
Yeah.
There was, not only did they not know, but they were also very specifically manipulated by you. Is that correct? Would that be a fair statement?
Yes. I have trouble saying just a blanket yes to that, because I did really think that this was the same troll part 2. But at the same time, I want to clear them of all association with what I've done, because they absolutely.
Sure. So when I say manipulation, even if you didn't really fully understand the extent of what you had done, I mean, intent, it doesn't always matter. There was very clear manipulation on your part, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
This is more so about, I think it's very important to exonerate these people. I think that most people understand what's going on now, but in case if there's one person out there who thinks or any of these people who were supporting you, you know, were complacent.
Oh, yeah, Genie Gate was perfect. But you didn't release the video yet. Because after this call, because he talked to Wes immediately after this interview, so you would have had to edit it and everything else. So.
And there's an complicit.
Emphatically, they were not.
Okay. Okay. I want to make sure that that's very clear.
Thank you.
Why did you ask the catfish if they were sexually aroused or attracted to predators, or about role play as these predators?
I believe the catfish mentioned it first about we started discussing To Catch a Predator, and I was curious if she found any of them handsome.
Sure. I believe it was something, I think you
I hate how he does that. He under enunciates most words, but then all of a sudden he's like, to catch a predator. You know what I mean?
Brought that up and asked if they were aroused by any of them, and then I think you went into some role play saying it was like a humiliation thing is what I read. But why do you think that, because from what I understood, I didn't see her initiate that, and I can go back and read and double check if we need to pause, but it looked to be initiated by you.
I think you do, because she was telling me that she was attracted to Lauren Armstrong and she wanted me to role.
Because you asked. Which you said, this is an uncomfortable question, but you know,
play him in a sexual way.
Mm-hmm. I could be wrong, but I think that was after you asked her something like, I'm going to ask.
Wait, what did he say?
Do an uncomfortable
question or something.
And after you asked.
Sexual way. attracted to Lauren Armstrong, and she wanted me to role play him in a sexual way.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted. Oh my gosh. Jorrun says some of the oddest shit.
I could be wrong, but I think that was after you asked her something like, I'm going to ask you an uncomfortable question or something. And
Right.
just that very first initial question, I believe, was you. And again, we can pause and I can go check. But it doesn't really matter. The fact is you did engage in the conversation too. So that seems like a very odd thing to ask someone. Why would you want to know if someone is attracted to or aroused by sexual predators?
I was curious if she found any of them handsome. That's about as far as my thought process went into that.
Sure. Do you know why you would want to know?
Scarlett, I don't think we're going to get that anytime soon.
Or care whether someone finds a sexual predator attractive?
Although I have said before that I give him an open seat on this channel.
You have to admit that's kind of odd.
Yes.
It's not like, hey, do you find Brad Pitt attractive, or even the more gossipy, do you find anyone in the community attractive? That's just very odd. Why are you asking a woman if she's aroused by or sexually attracted to a sexual predator?
I don't know.
Do you think it's at all possible that you realized maybe you had some predatory behavior and you were kind of wondering if they were, that might be something they're into?
No, I think it was just an interest. I was curious about their mentality. As far as it was a very bizarre TCAP related way.
Wait, there's a third catfish?
To get into a TCAP related question.
Well, I guess fourth if mac and cheese counts.
Sure.
Wow, that's very strange of me to ask.
Do you think maybe that was just like an awkward way for you to introduce some weird sex talk? Like maybe because there have been people in the past who, unfortunately there are people who have been attracted to this community because it's a place where women, even though we're talking about how repulsed we are by it, it's a place where women feel comfortable openly talking about, the sexual content. So do you think that was just your way of sort of testing the waters and like, hey, I'm going to bring up it, but really all you really cared about was sex? Or, do you think that there's more to it? What are your thoughts?
I don't think there's more to it. The conversation was sexual from the very beginning to the very end. From her sending me a nude pic. I incorrectly said it wasn't a nude pic, but the picture was of her pulling up her dress above her waist.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversation was sexual from the moment she initiated it and pretty much stayed there.
Sure. Do you think your fixation with genies is just like a simple kink, or do you think it's more of a fetish that has actually caused you issues in your life? Clearly it's caused some issues here right now, but beyond this.
I am confused by your using kink as a separate thing than fetish. I don't know how you're defining.
Maybe I'm defining it wrong, but from what I've heard from others is, kink is just something you're into, right? It's this, I like this kinky behavior. Whereas a fetish is, I can't get off without this. And I'm very fixated on this and it causes problems in my everyday life. It affects my normal functionality. Not to say that people with fetishes always have problems in their normal life, but do you think it's something that consumes you more than it should and causes you issues? I guess how I'll ask you then.
You've changed the definition so much that I'm now completely confused, but I will give you the answer to the best.
Well, here, then, okay.
She changed it. She didn't change it. She explained it. What the fuck?
Let me re-ask it. Let me re-ask it because I realize I get a little rambly. Do you think that your fixation with genies, your sexual fixation with genies, do you think it's just a simple something that
Jorrun's explaining
that kind of turns you on, or do you think it's something that is kind of deep rooted and actually causes you issues with normal function in your life?
Yes to the second part. It is very deep rooted. As long back as I remember, I've had a fascination.
Sure. And has it ever caused you any other issues? Like, I don't know, maybe like a girlfriend and you're bringing up genie shit, and she's like, what's this about? Or even just something in your personal life. Has it ever caused you issues other than this?
Yes, it has.
Do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Yes, I believe women I was dating who I was otherwise a very good match for were not interested in that.
Do you feel that you ever pushed
See, this part right here is why I feel like Jorrun probably is a virgin.
it, even though they expressed that they were not interested in it?
Because I think every time that he's went full Arn genie, like, right away.
I would say pushed. Nothing overly dramatic, Lifetime movie, but nonetheless, I kept trying to suggest it, and eventually it ended in the relationship ending. She goes, look, you have these desires that I do not have.
Sure. So it got
Oh, wow, Heisenberg, that was pretty good.
in the way of you respecting someone else's sexual boundaries before. Would be a fair statement, yes?
Oh, sexual boundaries to me sounds too much like assault, so I would...
Jorrun, and speaking of BDSM, Jorrun wanted to study all the alpha male shit. They didn't want to study the BDSM, so, like, Jorrun doesn't care about sexually pleasing a woman.
would disagree
or 3 women
with the wording. I would definitely say that I was trying to get someone to engage in something they didn't want to do, and as a result, they left, and it was the right thing for them to do.
Which would indicate,
and it should be applauded,
that it was probably pretty persistent, right? It probably wasn't like a one-time conversation, like, hey, listen, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to involve that in our sex life. And then that was the end of it. It sounds like you were told, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, but you continue to persist, is what I mean by violating someone's sexual boundaries. Not that you held her down and forced her to put on a genie costume.
Okay.
When you mention you desire like this master-slave relationship, do you have an interest in BDSM and alternative lifestyles and all of the responsibilities that go along with it?
Yes.
Or is it specific to genies and only about your own?
I wouldn't say crossing boundaries. They just kept doing things they didn't want to do.
Personal gratification. That's really all you care about. You're just fixated on that.
I've been in successful relationships with people where there was definitely a master-slave vibe. And we clicked well.
Now I'm just going to kind of move out of it and say, do you feel that you have apologized to everyone that you need to?
I have apologized to everyone that has come into my memory. But when I worded the apology in my video, because, again, my memory, I said, although I mentioned specific people that I can think of, I apologize to everyone, women as well as men, because a man, obviously I didn't come on to him or really get pushy sexually to the point.
No, but you had 2 men fight over you in a comedy sketch.
Of propositioning, but they had to watch that. They were probably uncomfortable. They probably had a feeling of violation. And so I really want to make sure I apologize to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yourself included.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Why do you think it took this coming out and being confronted with it for you to even realize that this behavior is not okay? Because, I mean, a lot of this is very, very alarming behavior. This isn't like, oh, I didn't realize I'm a little bit more flirtatious than I should be. So,
Successful relationships. 1-900 numbers don't count as successful relationships. Yeah.
Why do you think it took something this extreme and humiliating for you to understand that this is not okay?
I kept brushing it off. I kept telling myself, I'll give you my exact mentality. If I had said,
oh my God, Jorrun,
something to a woman and she responded negatively,
get a tissue or get the fucking coupons or something.
I just go, okay, she's just not the right one for me. Next. It's, if 3 out of 100 respond with interest and it goes there, I'll keep going.
Sure.
That was exactly what I felt. It was wrong, but in my mind, I just brushed it off. Okay, on to the next one. That's just how it is, which is bullshit.
Yeah. Do you think you have a somewhat...
God, Jorrun is such a bitch.
dismissive and negative attitude towards women who are not receptive to your sexual advances?
Yes.
Yeah, I know there is a video that is, I think, still up, and a few people have noticed it. I think it's your Reverend video. In that video, I think you're talking about, you're joking about what comedians are hacks, and I noticed you say something along the lines of female comedians who all they talk.
Jorrun paid to lose his virginity. I don't think so. I don't think that Jorrun would buy a prostitute.
About is how men try to have sex with them. They're hacks.
As far as the video goes, everything I did in that is a joke, but it was based on my time as a stand-up, seeing a lot of people who would stereotype themselves, be they the gay comedians, the black comedians, the white comedians, where they literally just focus on one thing, and that's their entire act. And I have absolutely met women who their whole act is, guys want to have sex with me.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that you're qualified to determine?
He was basing that completely off of, what the fuck is her name? The one that got Netflix dislikes. Right? No, the one that got the Netflix stars, like the 1 star, 2 star, 3, 5 star, 1 out of 5 stars on Netflix removed. Amy Schumer, right? That's her name.
What constitutes a comedic act? Or is it just strictly personal opinion?
Well.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted. I interrupted the question. Hold on.
Everything I read.
To determine. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that you're qualified to determine what constitutes a comedic act? Or is it just strictly personal opinion?
Well, everything I read is personal opinion, definitely. But I have seen this, and it's been brought to my attention that these stereotypes exist because I've seen them so many times, both as an audience member and as a stand-up comedian.
Do you think that the people you've apologized to should forgive you?
That's completely up to them. Right now, if I can be frank, I expect...
Did Jorrun actually pay for OkCupid Premium? Is that... Or are you just making a joke? Because that's amazing if he did.
Nothing from anyone. If people don't want me in the community, that's absolutely a prerogative. And I'm not looking to blame anyone or make anyone feel sorry for me. I just want to do the right thing, which is why I agreed to this interview. And I expect nothing from anyone. If they want to write me out of my life completely, that is their right. And
Jorrun probably does use dating apps, because the only people that you're gonna find are, and I have used dating apps in the past, and the only type of people that you're gonna find on there are people that just want sex. Like, that's all they're after.
And I understand.
Do you believe that you should still be welcome in this community?
Not necessarily. I really would not blame anyone if they said, you know what, you violated our trust. As you said, this is a safe space. We don't want you around. That's fine.
Sure. Do you intend to continue to make content here?
The most honest answer I can give you is I have thought about nothing the past...
On YouTube, he planned on making content, just not in the TCAP community.
Couple days.
Although he probably would have liked to.
Other than doing the video, doing this interview with you, it is completely up in the air whether or not I will release anything else. I have absolutely no forethought. I did have a video that was ready to go. I absolutely don't know what the future will be.
Sure.
I just know it won't be sexual content.
What do you intend to do going forward, both in your personal life and here?
For personal life, as I mentioned in the video, I want to get counseling. To make that a reality, I yesterday checked with my insurance, got a list of mental health.
Jorrun considers a match on Tinder as a successful relationship.
Health providers. I was able to leave my number on a couple of them. I got contacted by one today. He sent me over the necessary forms.
He did ask me if people in the community miss the good things about him.
I signed them, emailed them back, and he should be seeing me in the very near future.
Okay. Anything else, or
Hopefully someone can steer him in the right direction.
just the counseling, or any other plans?
That is the main plan, because I definitely have deep-rooted stuff.
You know, for someone so obsessed with, like, people's names, his channel was Jorrun, which was just, like, I think there's a Jordan the Barbarian, which is, like, a Conan ripoff or some shit. And he just changed the name of that. And then, you know, he added comedy to the end of it, of course. And then he had the Stefan Sings, which was just his name and what he did on the channel. And then Steer Music, which was because he drove. Because he steered.
And obviously
Because he was behind a steering wheel. So
things I've been doing for a couple decades. And
what I was saying was, for someone that is so, like, obsessed with names, Jorrun is not fucking creative at all.
as I said in my video, my best thinking.
I mean, I realize my name, The Sims with Decap, is not very creative, but, like, you know, I'm not out here, like, being, you know, it's not about me.
Got me here. And where I am now is not a good place. And how I'm treating people is not good. So I firmly believe that anyone can say, you know, I pinky promise I'm never going to do this, I'm going to change. Well, I need some new thinking, and I need perspective, and I want it to be from someone who is qualified to do so. And
someone told him that you were just trolling him. I wonder who that was.
I am ready and willing to work hard.
Are you taking any steps to protect people from your behavior in the meantime?
I mean, fuck, there's people that protect Lorne. You know, there's people that are against people trolling or doing, like, catfish videos, or, oh my gosh, catfishing Lorne, or just playing the calls. People are against that, so it's not surprising.
While you get this figured out.
I'm a little vague on what that question means, Minnie.
You know, because you've violated, you know, people's ability to consent to sexual acts with you. You have liked very inappropriate pictures of small children, and as you said, like, maybe you have not yet been sexually aroused, but as you said, you may be taking a step in that direction. So are you taking any definitive steps to make sure you're protecting people from being further victimized by you while you get this issue figured out?
I'm not specifically sure how I would go about doing that. I can tell you I deleted a huge amount of files from my computer, besides the ones that would give me sexual gratification. All those are gone. Some video media, gone. I have had almost no conversations with anyone in the past couple days while I get my head together, as it were. And I have
He didn't really ask, or he didn't really answer the question.
Yeah. That's what I've done as so far.
Sure. Are you going to take steps to make sure that you're not even exposed to children's pictures whatsoever?
Yes.
Especially within that, you know, genie-themed area?
I actually went into my Instagram and started deleting a lot of accounts I followed where viewing the woman would definitely be arousing to me. I mean, that's the thought of it
I didn't know you could delete other people's accounts.
makes me, you know, physically shudder.
Have you deleted, and I mean completely deleted, any and all content that has been inappropriate or
Oh, I know. I know it was a legit interview.
photos that you have saved without people's knowledge, especially here within the community? Have you completely and totally removed everything? No chance of you, you know, pulling the audio that you have saved for some later date if you start to regress and you don't address these issues.
Correct.
Is there any chance whatsoever that you still have access to any of this?
The most honest and comprehensive way I can say is I had everything on a folder on my computer. I went through it with a fine-tooth comb because sometimes I really don't label things. And so even though I went through it the first time, the second time, some things that were not labeled, just a mishmash.
Oh my gosh, Jorrun, this is fucking rambling. Just answer the question, yes or no.
Number, letter combination for the name. Went through that.
I know I'm getting mad, but it's like,
Went through every file, and it is all off my computer right now. And yesterday I was just thinking, oh, I'm all set. I've really done everything. And then I realized, wait a minute, I have Backblaze. So now I have to go through those and also make sure that it's all gone. Even if people told me yesterday we like such and such, we like it to go back up again, it's not.
Sure. So it would be fair to say that it's possible that it is not all gone just yet, but that you are taking steps to make it all gone?
Correct. My only concern is anything saved on Backblaze. And if you would like me to get back to later on tonight or tomorrow where I can say I've gone through Backblaze and it's absolutely gone, I'd be happy to do that.
Sure. I mean, I don't know that people will believe what you say, but it may give some people peace of mind.
Right.
So it's completely up to you.
I am not anticipating everyone will believe what I'm saying to begin with, and that's certainly their right, and they certainly have reason to feel like that.
Sure. Is there anything else you want people to know?
Mostly I want to apologize. I'll get a little philosophical here. The best thing about Lauren, right,
guys, he's going to get a little philosophical here.
I'll get a little philosophical here.
So pay attention.
The best thing about Lauren, right, is we're all better than him. As far as he's seemingly has no redeeming qualities. People have had fun talking about it intellectually, and I've enjoyed that. But I
don't think most people, unless they're doing it ironically, I don't think most people will actually compare themselves to Lauren Armstrong.
In the past, when I saw myself acting a little bit like Lauren, it freaked me out and put me on a better path. Now that I've seen that I've acted quite a bit like Lauren in a couple areas, I want to run from that and that behavior as fast as I can. And that's why I started taking steps so quickly once I realized I'm like, holy shit, this? I don't want to be like anything like this. And I'm not going to say, oh, I never defrauded people out of tens of thousands of dollars. That doesn't matter. In this one category, I've acted way too close to him. And
thanks, Jorrun. Thanks.
I don't want that to be me.
Sure.
At all.
Well, thank you for taking the time to answer these questions. I do appreciate you doing that.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, that was a really abrupt ending. Okay. We're gonna play call number 5 now, if I can find it. Here it is.
We are finally at the end.
No, this was the call immediately after the Many Syllables interview that we just listened to.
This was the last call with Jorrun, a few hours after his interview with Many Syllables. Jorrun rates his performance, the performance of Many Syllables, and makes plans for his future. Will he be making a comeback? Once again, Westmost is a troll in this call. If that is not your thing, please skip this video. The date was July 7th, 2020, the time was 4 p.m.
Hello?
Hey, how did it go?
Very good, considering. Very, very good, actually.
Well, that's good. Was anything new uncovered? Was she able to, shake anything loose that maybe you hadn't been fully transparent with before that's really going to assist people?
I
I don't think so. There were a few questions she asked me that's like, wow, that's something I haven't thought about at all. But a lot of the questions, she said, why specifically did you comment the way you did on Molly's? And I was just like, there was actually a moment of, duh, why did I do that?
Mm-hmm.
But we went through, she was pretty thorough. She didn't ask me, would you take your channel down if that would help people. She did say, were you going to make more comments going forward? I said, I've been concentrating the last few days just on the apology video and this interview.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I've given no real thought to that. But she did not shy away from going deep, and I did not shy away either.
Okay.
The whole thing was actually done in only about an hour 15 tops.
Oh, she's good.
She's very good, and I didn't, allow me a small joke here, Wes. I did not blame things on Amanda James and mac and cheese.
Oh, well, that's always good.
There
was no Amanda James mac. How about meatballs?
No delicious meatballs.
There's enough meatballs in that Google Drive, right? That was a little joke. So, how would you, if you had to rate her, 1 to 10, what would you give her?
Her skill?
There was enough meatballs in the Google Drive.
Yeah, as far as the interview, what would you give her skills?
Ooh, I'll say an 8 or 9. Probably a 9 would be more accurate. She was very good.
What would have made her a 10?
Ooh, probably rather minute stuff. Like she lost her place a couple times. Once
Just an 8. An 8 or 9.
I asked her to repeat a question and stuff. But, yeah, she's really good. She stuck with...
She lost her place. Guys, we just listened to it. She did not lose her place at any point.
With me as far as being impartial. I never felt as though she had an agenda. At the same time, she was direct, but not overly pressuring when it came to the difficult questions.
That's good.
And a couple times I'm like, okay, that question was long. Please cut it into 2 questions or rephrase it. And she did that.
So a strong 9.
It was fun as the... Yeah.
Oh, no, go ahead. What were you saying?
It would be absolutely incorrect to refer to it as fun, but I think if she interviewed me...
He thought it was fun.
...on a completely different subject, it'd be enjoyable for me.
Did you apologize?
Got real skills.
Apologize to her personally?
She couldn't make me understand the difference between kink and fetish, -1 point. I didn't really know the difference between that. I always heard them like interchangeable until you explained it, Minnie.
Yes, I did. Before and during.
That's good. How would you rate yourself during the interview?
At least an 8.
Okay, so I'll ask you,
I would.
What would have made you a 10?
I'm probably, the only thing is more preparation as far as, because I really did not think a lot about a variety of questions so that I could have in my mind. I realized there were some things semi-philosophical, I happened maybe 3 times, but where I'm like, wow, I haven't considered...
You know what's funny? He was so, like, sad and seeming so sad, like, in the interview, but this is, like, almost immediately after the interview, and he's, like, all happy and joyous.
This specific thing, like the Molly thing, at all, that's a damn good question. But
now that she asked you that, so so you're saying you'd rate yourself about an 8, and she was a 9. So that's good. That's a 17 out of 20 overall. That's a more than passing grade. But now that you've had a chance to look back, are there any apologies that you made to maybe Tiffany Lockhart, Molly? I don't know who else you did.
I like how Wes gets him to rate things too.
Did apologize to, or were there any of those that you would redo?
If anyone here doesn't know, whenever he was talking to Mac and Cheese, the catfish that exposed him, he asked her to watch one of his videos, and then and asked her, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much does that turn you on?
Would those still
So that's why it's funny. Because I know some people came in my stream last time and didn't even know who Jorrun was.
stand as is?
They would stand. One thing she said that was fucking brilliant. She says, how about the people who defended you as far as helping take the video down and stuff? Do you want to let people know that they absolutely were not in collusion? I says they acted completely out of ignorance of the situation, and I apologize to them specifically, the people who I know
Who was
had the
that?
video reported. Danny G, TCAP Recipes.
No. He didn't mention TCAP Recipes. I don't think... I think Minnie mentioned Danny G. I don't think he mentioned any names.
I may have forgotten Euro. Rhoda, I think.
Oh, what role has has Euro? Because I know he seems to be pretty. I know you haven't been reading comments or anything, but it's good that you did mention those people, because that was going to be one of the things I didn't want to bring up prior to the interview. But those are the people who were probably feeling the most hurt in all this. Having comments made about you. I mean, the thing said about Molly was horrible, and that's that's going to do is make less people willing to show themselves on cam, and less people are going to shrink back, because no one wants to be judged like that or treated like that. But the people who defended you, who in streams were defending you and talking about this troll, and then they felt like they were missed on the apology. So it's good that you did that was brought up to you. And why do you think maybe you forgot that and you left them out originally?
Oh, okay, Minnie.
I was so concentrated on people that I had heard as far as objectifying them and stuff that I didn't even say, hey, wait a minute. People took down that video that should have been taken down.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Minnie, where'd all your videos go? Did the Cornville Mafia or Vince find your channel?
Because they thought, as I originally thought, that it was just the troll part 2. And I clarified in the interview that there were definitely more than one person. I said I used the term whistleblower. I don't know if I used it consistently, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that there was someone at an earlier time, because it had been going on for a while, where they would go into live streams, impersonate me, insult me.
Okay. Did you open or close with a joke like we had talked about?
I did not.
Did you change your mind?
I mentioned that to her, and she thought it would be a bad idea, that people would think that I was taking things lightly.
Oh, okay.
Not being serious.
Okay.
And I tended to agree.
Well, I know when we first spoke on Friday, your idea was to do an apology with some jokes. So I didn't know if maybe adding some a bit of lightheartedness to it would have helped you in the process. But she thought it would be a bad idea, and you went with it. So that's how do you feel about that now? Do you wish you would have done that joke, or?
No, I think she was right.
Okay.
I didn't want any way people to think, oh, there he is, a joke, not taking it serious, because quite a few people would feel like that. So.
Okay. Now I know you.
God, how fucking dismissive of people.
You said earlier that your apology video. Hold on, Alexa, off. You said that your apology video, you would have rated it a 9.
Yeah.
And I know you haven't looked at any of the comments or anything like that. But now that you've had your talk with Mini Syllables, what would you rate that apology now?
I would say, if not a 9, an 8, and 8 only as far as I should have, as she brought up in my thing, apologize to the people who were helping me get the video removed.
Mm-hmm. Because what I think is because it was.
Okay, Minnie, that makes sense. Well, did you private them or did? Or did you delete them?
It's brought up. Are some people going to think, oh, it was just a self-serving apology to save to save face? He wasn't really apologizing, or he would have mentioned those people who.
Yeah.
As far as I knew, you and Chef are friends, and we're making plans to hang out and stuff like that. So some people are going to say, oh, you would think that would be the first people that he would, among the first people he wanted to apologize to. So if he didn't do that, it's because he was just looking to save his reputation. And what would your reply kind of be to that?
I would say what I just did to you, which was I absolutely did not think about how they were being mistreated, and not only that people would look at them, with a sideways look.
I don't think anyone is. That's the thing. I don't actually think anyone is. I think it was just a concern with of theirs. They felt bad. So what would have made your apologies an 8 now, back from a 9 to 8? What would have made that a 10?
I honestly don't know. I'm one of those people where pretty much I never give anything the perfect score because I'm like, perfection doesn't exist.
Oh, I know many. I was just joking.
Honestly, with the rewrites that you helped me with and stuff with that last one, I'm like, okay, I have mentioned everything I can think of. I've been direct, and especially with that last line you gave me, I'm like, okay, this is not some guy trying to, sweep over things or minimize. This is boom.
Direct, yeah, no ambiguity. So, because that wasn't really an answer. What would have made it a 10 in your opinion? For yourself and for others, you can't think of anything. So then how can you give it an 8 if you don't know what a 10 is?
Okay. In that case,
it's like, how can you describe dark if you can't describe light? You know what I mean?
I honestly don't know. Maybe I should say a 9, and then what would have been the 10 would have been
mentioning those
apologizing to the people who had, that would have got it right where it should be.
Now that the mini syllable stuff is done, and I mean you got that in the can, you got your apology thing done. What's your next step as far as your channel? When do you feel like you'll be able to start making some content again?
I do not know. I have one video that I had planned to go. I have to make a decision if I even want to have a channel or if people want me to have a channel. And by want, I mean, would support me.
Well, what do you want?
I don't know, Wes. I mean, I've loved it in the past. It's been a great artistic release for me, but it just seems so tainted now. Something I didn't mention to you, and it's not a big secret or anything, but I took down my Patreon because I'm like, I don't even want people to give me money right now. And so I said, let me at least take that down. And by that I mean, people being able to donate money to me.
No, yeah, I understand that. But what is it that you would want? When would you want, if it was up to you, when would you want to release this? What kind of video is it?
It's a original comedy song.
Oh, okay. When would you want to be able to release that if it were up to you?
That might have been the Big Heart, Bigger Breast, or Bigger Beats, or whatever the fuck that song was called.
That's something I have not thought about.
Yeah, you have. I know you have. Let's be honest.
Not really.
Sure.
What should I say, a week, a month? I mean...
you say the truth, but I know you've thought about it. You can't tell me you haven't.
Well, I would have deleted it if I didn't think about it at all.
Okay, but you just told me that you hadn't thought about it, so let's remain honest here.
Well, okay. Well, when I say thought about it, I mean I haven't thought of, it's going to be Wednesday, boom. I have not put...
But that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying if it was up to you, when would that video be posted?
I guess in a week, if I still decide to have a channel.
What is there something making you decide that maybe you want to get rid of it? So the apology said, your content going forward. So it was pretty much saying that this channel would remain and you would continue making content. So has that changed since yesterday?
That is the line I almost removed. That was the line I almost removed as far as going forward. because I have been, and I still am. Do I?
Well, here at the party, Wes or Clobber or someone came into one of my streams and said that he sung that song, but I couldn't find the video.
Even want to continue going with this channel?
Mm-hmm.
And the most honest and direct way I can say is I don't know. My mindset has certainly been on everything else is the priority, and I do love making comment. That's it. I do love making content, and it's been great. I had 3 months of pumping out a lot, and I love the creative process, and I love making people laugh. That hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
I feel everything is like really tainted now. Plus the question of, I haven't checked. For all I know, I've had 100 unsubscribed. That's
no, it's nothing that drastic at this point.
He had a little under 100, so, and most people that watch your content aren't even subscribed to your channel. That's just like how YouTube works.
So when these types of things happen, you've seen it with my own videos that
But a lot of people will subscribe to people and then never watch their videos. I've done that before.
A lot of people start coming forward, and with your history of that screen name, there are going to be a lot of people coming forward. Is there anything, and I'm asking you now directly, and I'm not saying who has or has not come forward or been contacted, but was there anything, is anyone from your comedy troupe going to say anything that, yeah, they saw this before, or there were signs of this, or anything like that?
As far as
inappropriateness or...
Gotcha. No, the only person who, let me just run through my thoughts. The only person who knows my channel exists is the original guy who I actually want to have on the channel.
First, no, I'm not...
The majority of his subs were just people in the community supporting others in the community. Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about anyone being aware of your channel. I'm talking about there's things that have been posted, and I guess there was a background in massage, which I didn't know anything. Of course, I don't care about any of that. But this is what happens. People start deep diving, and I'm saying if anyone is contacted from Funny Please, is there anything that any of them would say, like, oh yeah, I saw this coming, or something like that happened with females within the troupe, or...
You used to mute your computer so you... Wait. Yeah, you used to mute your computer to watch his videos just so he'll get the views.
Is there anything like that? Never?
No, I did very briefly date one of the women.
Okay.
So she knows about my proclivities. There absolutely was one who was a member of the troupe for about a year.
Proclivities regarding
months after I left.
The genie stuff, or the children stuff, or just the genie stuff?
Just the genie stuff.
Okay. And then again, like I said, I can't say who has or has not reached out yet, or who will reach out tomorrow.
Oh, the genie sketch? Yeah, I don't blame you for unsubscribing.
Bro, have you contacted high school girls?
Although I can honestly say that I've never heard the genie sketch before. I have heard the reenactment of the Sex Armstrong style, the AMD one, and then the one with Kelp Hill and Joey, and that, yeah.
At any time.
If the genie sketch is as bad as that, I can only imagine.
No.
Never ever.
Never. I'm sorry. You know what I was going to say.
No, go ahead, do it. Do it. Yeah, drop the.
Never ever.
Okay, so never once have you. No one's going to come forward with any receipts proving.
What is that a reference from? Never ever. His Dear Music channel was weird. The comments were. Yeah, that was like I guess he joined like some sort of Facebook group of a lot of YouTubers doing covers.
Otherwise.
Correct.
Okay.
And basically they just all kiss each other's ass. I mean...
And then, just to be clear, because I want to be clear, when you say that you were looking at high school girls and pleasuring yourself, what age were these high school girls? And I want honesty, not honesty tomorrow. Let's get honesty today.
Yes. 17, 18, absolutely.
And you're sure of that?
I would, to cover myself, I'll say as low as 16.
Fun fact, when I went back through his DMs to prep for the interview, I found out he tried to do the weird genie talk with me months before this happened. Yeah, he tried that with everyone.
You're sure of that?
Yes.
How could you be sure of that?
With my memory, and as long as I've done, I cannot be absolute, but there is a part of me that very much looks at younger girls and...
Yeah, Eddie, they don't even watch the videos. They just kiss each other's ass. I mean, just to kind of pump each other up, and then they watch each other's videos, so they want Jorrun to watch theirs and leave a nice comment.
Shudders.
Shudders in what way?
The thought of...
Oh, well, no. Genie talk wouldn't really... If someone called me a genie before, like, Jorrun and shit, like, I wouldn't think anything of it.
Speaking sexual, no. I have a little bit of the... I was never a father, so I'm not going to pretend I know how, but there's a little bit of the protectiveness within me.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hope he never becomes a dad.
I know I asked you the question the other day about, looking back and how your behavior was, and a lot of the things on your channel being about...
Yeah, I know. He didn't like the way you drew it originally. He said that it needed to be, have a high ponytail and earrings?
Being an alpha.
Or hoop earrings or whatever.
Now, in the clear light of day, are you an alpha? Is that who you are?
Alpha at all. I have not behaved alpha at all. The most alpha thing I've done in the past couple of days is call that doctor and say I need help.
No, I'll agree. Admitting that you need help is a really big first step, but then, of course, believing it yourself and following through is the most important. And I think that's
why I like your idea of a follow-up video.
Yeah, I think people want to see that, especially if you plan on keeping your channel and releasing those things. If you want people to support you, show them that you're not like everyone else, that you are taking this seriously and actually moving forward with it. Because, when you're talking about looking at high school girls as young as 16.
He wanted it with dark hair or without dark hair?
I mean, it's impossible to tell. Impossible to tell. I'm sure there were some 14 and 15-year-olds mixed in there. And whether you want to admit it or not, I think we both know that, right?
It is impossible to tell sometimes.
Jorrun,
I agree with you.
Could you admit that they were as young as 14 or 15? Because if you can't admit it to yourself, how are you going to admit it to a counselor? How are you going to admit it to anyone if you can't admit it to yourself?
I intend to say every single thought I've had when I'm there with a counselor. I intend to hold back nothing.
But I'm asking you right now.
It is... Wes does have a point. Like, if you're attracted to high school girls, it is hard to tell, like, ages.
Now, can you admit that they were probably as young as 14 and 15?
It's possible, yes.
Okay. And was that also on Instagram when you were searching for the genie stuff, or?
No. I don't know if you even necessarily want to hear this.
That's weird in and of itself, Minnie. Why didn't... If he was so fucking picky about the drawing, why didn't he just... Why didn't he just tell you the specifics before asking you to draw it?
I am not attracted to petite women.
Well, he did that shit to people on DeviantArt too, where he was like, he likes his barbarians bald and shit.
Women, I tend to like bigger butts, bigger breasts. I've almost never dated someone who would be called petite, and...
Well, that's weird because Molly's tiny, and had no problem sexualizing her in her comments. And she's like, she's petite.
She's in great shape. Absolutely. I was looking at those yoga pants in the wrong way.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of, I think a lot of the women that you were sexualizing, you know, would be considered attractive women by all.
You asked him for specifics, and oh my god, what a bitch.
Okay.
So no, so I'm just saying that doesn't really match up with what you're saying.
Jorrun is so fucking entitled.
So because my question was it on Instagram that you were seeing these girls that you were sexualizing, and you said no, and then you said I like bigger women. What does that have to do with Instagram or where you were finding them?
I mean, in general, what I've been attracted to is women with more thick figures, fuller figures, especially a lot of the belly dancers that have been falling for years and sexualizing.
They're not on Instagram?
Bigger breasts. They are.
Okay, Jorrun, where were you finding...
Oh my god, it's a simple fucking question, Jorrun.
The high school girls and whatnot that you were pleasuring yourself to? I mean, was it Instagram? Where was it that you were finding these? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And you're telling me that you liked bigger women. They're two different. This is an answer to a question I didn't ask.
I see. Yeah. In the past, it has been Instagram.
Okay. I mean, so that's definitely something that you're going to want to avoid and, you know, talk with the therapist or whoever. So I know you did speak in the earlier versions of the apology letter about wanting to help the others if possible. And if you could, if there was something that you could say to someone who was going through this, because I'm personally glad you left that out of the apology. I think it would have been really disingenuous then, but...
He's an alien. He kind of looks like an alien in that thumbnail.
Now, again, in the clear light of day, if you had a message to someone who...
Holding the non-existent pizza.
Maybe was thinking about leaving these types of comments or doing these types of things, what would that message be?
Get professional help.
When?
Immediately.
Okay. Yeah,
Don't wait. Don't wait for something bad to happen. Don't wait for you to get too quote-unquote tempted or what have you.
Yeah. It's never the time to ask, right? One of the comments that was, cause there were a couple of live streams, it was crazy, like 1:30 in the morning, a live stream with 60 people, you know, talking about this.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, because you offered, that doesn't really make the, make it better. You know what I mean?
Oh, and I'll be honest, you know, Chris Hansen has reached out to me about this.
I mean, I figured that you were the one to offer, but it's still, like, shitty to make you have to do it again, especially whenever you asked what he wanted.
I don't even know how he found out about it. And I don't know if it's just to fishing for information or to find out what's going on, but he has reached out, and that's a pretty big deal. But one of the things that was said over and over by, well, I'll say Danny G, was he should have apologized the minute he found out about this. Friday night.
I agree.
Do you think that apology would have been genuine, though?
Friday night?
Mm-hmm.
Not nearly as genuine as it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I was still in denial, still worried much more about not embarrassing myself, worried much, and that's what I say in Mini Syllables. She's like, how? I was, when this first happened, all I cared about was my reputation and, you know, damage control, rather than doing the right thing.
Rather than getting ahead of it, putting it all out there so that no one else can tell your story for you.
Yeah.
That's what that's what the police.
The fact that told me.
That's what the police do when they sit those people down for the interrogation, they go, I don't think you're a bad guy. Tell me your story so that I don't have to tell it for you. In that case, you get a lawyer, right? You don't talk to them. But in your case, you wanted to tell your story before someone else did, because then they just fill in the blanks. And then they try and figure out what you're not saying with receipts. And they start contacting people to verify things that you said, and it's just a lot. But because that's really what I want to do. The apology came out yesterday. You had the interview with Minnie. What is your...
Well, still, though, just because it was easy to change... I mean, even if it would have took you, like, 2 seconds to change... That's so shitty that you would even have to do it again anyway.
Overall takeaway, like, just to kind of close things out, because...
At all. Just be fucking grateful.
I believe that now it's time for you to start whatever work it is that you have to do to improve, and not focus on this all day. And so, what would be your final takeaway of all of it?
When you say takeaway, as far as what I've learned, or as far as
however you take that, whether it's what you learned, whatever it is.
My main concern by far is getting the help as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you, but in case I didn't, he contacted me, sent me the forms. Yeah. It's all been signed. It's already been emailed, so I'm just waiting for him. That is my main concern. Right now, between you and me, I feel asexual. I don't even want to flirt with anyone. I want to put my energies into anything and everything else. I've been deleting friends from my Facebook that I know looking at them will turn it on. I've been deleting people I follow on Instagram. I don't even want to masturbate. Shit.
Well, that's good. I didn't know.
Sorry to yaw in the mic, but I didn't realize that he ever said that.
Yeah, it's the best way I can put it.
If the coom on the coupons were real, he probably couldn't get it up after, at this point.
That's really, kind of what I wanted to get to the bottom of, and just kind of check in and see how you were feeling with everything that was done, and making sure that once that apology was out there, I think at some point you should look at the comments and start processing those, because that's going to be a part of this. Gauge how the community is feeling about this. I mean, when you have people who haven't done streams in months, or haven't, when's the last time Wine Lover did a stream? And those people are talking about it. That's attention.
Jorrun is the type of guy who would critique a birthday present you gave him. It would have been better if it was Fluence that read. He is.
That you wanted, but not the attention that you wanted at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
So I highly suggest you go and look at those and start processing those whenever you're ready. I gotta get out of here. I have to take my kid to the shooting range, but do you have a joke or a quote or anything that is helping you through this, or? Because I feel like you're probably the kind of person who likes to liven things up with comedy and make dark situations within your life, a little gallows humor.
Yeah, definitely. I should be sent to an island.
I should be sent to an island. What would that island be called?
Incarceration Island, as Chef would say.
I think that's your...
I'm glad he said that, because Recipes of Redemption had used that in his video, and that's a good sound bite for him.
I think that's your next song right there. All right.
Wait, what?
Man, well, song right there.
Incarceration Island, as Chef would say.
I think that's your next song right there.
I want to hear that steer music song, Incarceration Island.
All right, man. Well, I'll be around, and if you want to reach out on Skype, I'm there. But like I said, you know, like I made clear from that first message, you know, it's impossible to promote and that type of thing with what's gone on. But you know, I am pulling for you to get better in all this and really stick with it and make it a priority to change, because this isn't who anyone wants to be or what anyone wants to be known for.
Hell no.
So no one wants to be a cautionary tale.
Fucking Wes, I don't know why you've given me so much of your time and support.
That's what I do. This is what I do.
Well, you know what? I will tell you something moderately funny. I had ideas for sketches, and a couple of them where I called you. I was going to do one sketch where I ran out of ideas, and I called various members of the community who are bigger than me and do stuff. And I was going to do one where I call you, and you're such an over-the-top goody two-shoes that you're like, oh, I have time before I go to the soup kitchen. How can I help you? Blah, blah, blah.
That's me. Yeah,
And,
totally me.
What's his reaction here?
That's me to perfection. Well, yeah, you should. I mean, you know, keep storyboarding those ideas. Who knows when Jorrun Comedy makes his comeback, right? Yeah, who doesn't love a comeback story?
Sure. You're a saint, Mr. Mouse.
That's what they call me.
Did he just call him Jermone?
As Brittany.
You're a saint, Mr. Mouse.
That's what they call me. As Brittany Simon said, I'm her little angel. So.
There you go.
Little angel.
She knows what she's talking about.
She does. She absolutely knows what she's talking about. All right, so you know, do what you need to do, and look at that video when you can. And any questions pop up, you just contact me on Skype.
Thanks so much, bro.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. I like how this says this is the end question mark. It definitely wasn't. I know you guys can't see the video, but that's what it says. Anyway, Sims, if you want some of the pre-interview screenshots, get a hold of me. I can probably dig them up. Okay. Yeah, that'd be awesome, actually. How can I reach you? Because that would be a video within of itself. But anyway, that's gonna do it for the stream, guys. Okay, yeah, I'll hit you up on one of them. I appreciate that, Minnie. That's gonna be the stream for the day. I'm tired. It's past midnight here. I know I did like a 4-hour stream yesterday, but I'm tired today. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Probably not. My streams aren't that great, but